Give it up for Uncle Dave. And all the other guys who are in tonight. So my girlfriend and I have been dating for 5 years. We've been dating for 5 years, very happily. Awkward applause in the middle, thank you. We've been dating for 5 years, very happily dating. One weird thing that's come up of late is that she's a little bit on the shorter end. She's only 5 feet tall. So that wasn't a problem when we first started dating, because we were like, kind of looked like we were the same age. But over the past 5 years, I've progressively aged, and she stayed that same baby face. So now I notice when we go out places, people are starting to kind of give us funny looks. And it really kind of culminated this past Christmas. She wanted a pair of Victoria's Secret sweatpants. I didn't know Victoria's Secret made sweatpants, but they make sweatpants. So I headed up to the mall, being a good boyfriend. And I get to the mall, and I'm looking into the Victoria's Secret, and I realize I gotta go in there and ask them for the smallest size they got. So I finally built up the courage, and I walked in, feeling a little bit like Michael Vick in a puppy shop. Too soon on the Michael Vick? So I get in there, and I'm like poking around. I'm lost for a little bit, and I find a clerk at a desk. So I walk up to her, and she's trying to be a kind soul, but right as I go to talk to her about it, I realize I can't remember what my girlfriend actually wanted. Like my memory is only good enough to remind me that I've forgotten things, but it's not bad enough to let me forget that I remembered. So essentially I just walk around with all this eternal guilt all the time. So the clerk's trying to be a kind soul, and she's like, well, about how big is she? So I start looking around for comparable things. I'm like, fuck, even the mannequins are huge. So I notice a girl in the corner, and I go, oh, she's about that big. She goes, oh, so she's probably like a small or extra small. And I go, sure, yeah. And then that girl turned around, and I realized she was maybe 11 years old. And what's worse is her mom has now watched me walk into the store, poke around in the panty and bra section for a bit, walk up to the clerk and ask some hurried questions, look her daughter up and down, point, give a thumbs up, and go, yeah! So speaking of crimes against children, it was my godson's birthday on Monday. It was his birthday on Monday. So I was calling my godson on the way to a gig, and I'm in the car with him. And I go, hey buddy, happy birthday. He goes, thank you. And I said, so finally reached the double digits. He goes, yeah. And I said, hope you make it to the triple digits. Who says that? Like, what kind of sadistic mind puts that thought into the head of his godson on his godson's 10th birthday, right? And then my godson is one of my cousins from Massachusetts. He's from up in Massachusetts. And it's kind of weird, how much where you grow up affects, kind of even your hobbies or like, the different kinds of things you do. Like all my family in Massachusetts, they're all really great skiers, but like no one knows how to swim. Because that's what they do all the time. They're like varsity ski team, all that kind of stuff. So every time I go to visit them, I always have to go skiing with them. And skiing is one of those things, it's like riding a bike, where you have to learn it before you have the fear of death in you, It's like when I get on the top of a ski slope, I look down, all I see are different things that can crush my skull. But my cousins, they've been like skiing since they were 3 years old, so they fly down. They'll fly down a mountain at like 100 miles an hour. They'll go over ice and snow. If you melted that ice and snow, by the way, and put it in a 4-foot pool, they go bullshit, right? So the last time I go skiing, I'm going down the hill, and I try and cut real short, and my ski buckle's under, and I flipped out, I blacked out, woke up, one ski was sliding still down the hill. The 2 poles were boing, stuck like 50 feet behind me. My godson, his hobby is to come up behind me, spray me in the face with snow, and then let me know the number of times I've fallen. So he comes up behind me, sprays me, and goes, that's the 3rd time you fell today, Charlie. And in that moment, I realized that I don't really have a point to this story, but if that fucking kid sprays me one more time, I'm gonna drown him. That's all I have. So, I'm originally from New Jersey, kind of as I mentioned. That's why I'm kind of a bad skier. I'm originally from Jersey, in an urban area in Jersey. Never skied growing up. I was back home a couple weekends ago, and I read about this law they just passed in New Jersey. They just passed a law in the state of New Jersey when a student asks to go to the bathroom, a teacher is required to let him go. And I thought to myself, why did that need to be a law? Right? Like, how many shit-stained second-grade classrooms did principals walk into before somebody was like, I guess we got to pass legislation on this. At least that's how you hope it happened, right? You hope it was like a top-down process where somebody saw a problem and addressed it. There's also a good chance it took a while. The kids were coming home with skid marks in their underwear. Parents are making angry phone calls. Kids are writing letters from a middle school detention center. And finally, they realize their civil rights are being infringed upon, so they rally together, host shit-ins in the classroom droids warehouse. It's a metaphor for racism. But I'm originally from New Jersey, like I said. I realized something recently about New Jersey. It's that New Jersey's got kind of a bad rep, right? And people like to hate New Jersey. A lot. And you don't realize that until you move out. But in all fairness, we're not great ambassadors to ourselves. Like my buddy's from DC. He likes to tell this story. A couple of years ago, he was up visiting New York City for the first time. So he walks up to the guy. He's on the Jersey side. He has to take the train across. He walks up to the guy in the booth and he goes, "Excuse me, sir. How do you get to World Trade Center?" The guy goes, "You get on a train and you get off the World Trade Center." And then turns around. And that's the guy in the booth. He's paid to answer questions. And the media is not really fair to us either, you know. And I'm not talking about shows like The Real Housewives of New Jersey or The Jersey Shore. I'm talking about like coverage post Superstorm Sandy. Right? Like think about it this way. When there's like a tornado out in the Midwest and it sweeps up a bunch of houses, they always interview some blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy who's like muscular. It's like it's been tough. But we're a strong, tight-knit community, and I just want to thank God that my family's safe, and we're gonna rebuild. 2 days after Sandy, they were interviewing fat guys from Jersey who were like, "Hey, where the fuck's my blanket?" Reading tweets on the news, because apparently that's a form of journalism now. Some guy's like, "Water's up to my knees, it's freezing, still ain't got no power, fuck FEMA. Hashtag, eat a bag of dicks." That's New Jersey to the rest of the world. Alright, I'm Charlie Cevasco, that's my time.